Okay, so game day troubleshooting. This is a nice review. I want to go over some issues that you may encounter, things to look out for. So first we're going to go to the store, we're going to go to the clubs. This is what I do for clients, where I go through and, okay, hey, take a look at my setup, see if it's okay. Perfect. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to double check. Okay, user choice, we got the promo on there, not a club processing only. You don't need that unless this discount for processing is different than their normal discount. If it's not, just use the normal discount promo. You don't need to make extra. Okay, first thing I'm looking for here is to make sure that there's only one active season, and if display on web is no, then that means chances are you're past your deadline for them to make the choices, which is great. If this is yes, then I would question, okay, where are we in the process? If it is a yes, why are they still able to make changes, or have we not gotten to the deadline yet? So that's what we're looking for. That's the different timeline. Go ahead and edit, taking a look through here, making sure we have default, making sure all the discounts are working properly. Okay, so let's move on to the next club. White wine club. Okay, yes, that looks good. And oh, here we go. Look, so we have 2 seasons that are active. So that's not what we want. And you might say, well, why is that? And I'll say, I'm going to show you. And so we're going to go over to Stephanie, and then we're going to go to her Manage Memberships. And we're going to go in here, and we're going to scroll down, and look what we have. We have these 2 active seasons. Now, this is going to be very confusing if you hand the iPad to Stephanie and ask her to make her selection. She's going to like, well, what do I have to buy all of these? So it's very kind of scary at first, or it's like, wait a minute, I'm not signing up for all those wines. Also, what if you were to make the selection for that person, but you weren't really paying attention and you made the changes in an older season and not in the new one? So human error is very prevalent with this. So this is why it's super important to make sure that you are inactivating seasons and inactivating your batches when you're done, so that we can start clean and fresh and you don't have some of these silly mistakes. All right, and then we'll go back, clubs. Let's clean this up. So this is the old one. We don't need it active, and we don't need it displayed on web. But here's the other issue. So if I go up here and we go to the website. Okay, hello Stephanie. Now she logs in, and then she goes to club list. Now this should be going to club list anyways, especially from the email. But if she logs in, because you tell her, hey, go make some changes, she goes, okay. Now this is where she should be brought to once she logs in. So this is the URL up top that you're going to want to use for the club list page. And I talked about that earlier. And then she's going to go, okay, let me edit my club. All right. Oh, here's my club choices. January 2024, and here's her selection. And then she's got the next one here. And so now she's like, well, wait a minute. But if she doesn't see this, that this is a different season, she's going to get confused by the numbers. And what if she picks all this stuff, but doesn't pick the new season? So this gets very confusing as well. And now that they think that, oh, I'm going to be spending that, and then I'm going to be spending this, and so now you just might get somebody that's just like, I need to cancel, right? So just make sure that you don't have 2 seasons or more active at a time. Now let's go back. And so we're going to go into the club, and it's a very simple fix. We're going to come in here, and we are just going to uncheck these. Okay, so when you are done with the season, then just go ahead, and what should be happening is deadline, uncheck, add in any other items and all your non-wine items, and then when you're totally done with the season, uncheck is active. Okay, now let's take a look through the other clubs, and they should be fine. Okay, looking good. We don't have multiple there, which is nice. And okay. Uh-oh. got a little note here. You have duplicated products, duplicates in here. So I've got 2 of the same. So that's nice that the system's also going to tell you that. Here's what I can do. So we've got this. And now if we go to Club Processing, and I go into Package Setup, it also tells me here that I have duplicate products. But watch this. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to fix that. So I'm just going to go into 6 bottle. I'm going to go into Edit, and then I'm just going to change this one to something else. Make it a 21 cap. Great. And I'm going to hit Save. Now I'm going to go back to Club Processing. Look what happened. It still has the old SKU in there, and it's got a cross out, a strike through of the one I tried to put in there, so it didn't work. And I don't want you to fix it here. Don't come in here and do all that. The best way to fix that, even if somebody else has done it, doesn't matter what happened, come in here, and I want you, whatever that issue line is, just remove it, and then add in whatever product you want. Okay, so let's do 21. There we go. Then add in the product. So in this case, we also have to make sure that our minimum and our minimum are going to be here. And that's what this is, right? Minimum, the system's going to force that. And so we do this, we hit Save. We go to Club Processing, go back into here, Package Setup, and now it's nice and clean. So don't just replace the SKU when you're in the season. Don't just replace it here and type in a new one. Go ahead and just actually remove it and then add in a new line if you need to, or just in a blank one. And then remember, you can always drag and drop these into whatever order you want. So that's not a big deal. That's going to be much cleaner. So you got to definitely keep an eye out for that as well. So that's how you fix it. Now back into Club Processing. Go into red wine, Package Setup. Okay, I'm double checking everything. Double check all of this as well. We want to make sure that we've got the right season. We have the right qualification date, ideally at the end of the processing month. Pickup inventory, shipping inventory, if you have customized order confirmation emails. And then go Package Setup, make sure there's no strike throughs, because that strike through is telling you that, nope, you can't put that. That's not going to come in here. The original SKU is still going through. Make sure you have discounts. When you look through this, this should be seconds, like 2 seconds max. No strike throughs, discounted. That's all you need to do. And then the club members. Now, how many can we add? I can add them all. Remember, if you're going to be sending out the email ahead of time, your first email, you're only going to add yourself. Once you test that email and everything's good, then you add all the members, and then you can go ahead and send it all to them. And I like to spot check. Oh, this is what we're looking for. So we've got an issue here. Chardonnay cannot be shipped to Michigan. Spot check. Okay, this one actually looks okay. Do I have the right number of bottles? They all discounted? Do I have shipping if applicable? How is that going to work? Does this all work out well? Okay, so spot check a good bit just to make sure. And again, you can see this is one of the 2 main issues. This is the compliance issue. So how do we fix this? Well, it's saying that we can't be shipped to Michigan. So the first place you're going to start is Store, State Profile, and we're going to come down to Michigan, and look, no for off-site compliance. So as long as you have compliance here or using somebody that has compliance, go ahead and edit, and then we put yes, we hit save, we go back into Club Processing, and we're in the red, and okay, Michigan, red, all gone. Okay, so that's super important. And okay, now let's check another one. So this is all good. Do I need these? Yes, they should be filled out. Okay, you don't have to have this, although that is order confirmation, But we have the season, we have qualification date. This is optional. You don't have to put that in there. Package setup. Uh-oh, look at that. I've got another strike through. So now I've got to go back to the season. So the 2008 Chardonnay is still in here, not the 17 Doc Crane. So I got to go back to the club. And I know what you're saying. Why is there a red wine in the white wine club? That's a very good question. There's another error. So you've got this one in here. It used to be Chardonnay. Now don't just go, okay, I'm just going to put the Chardonnay back. You could do that, but to be safe, let's just get rid of that row, add the row back, and we're going to put the Chardonnay back in. And of course, remember, just put it in the order, whatever order you like. Hit save. Going to go back to club processing. Check on the bottles, package setup. Nice and clean, no issues. All right, so we can still add people. We can do a preview edit, and here we go. This is the other thing. We have error adding this product to the inventory because of inventory issues. So your two main issues are inventory and compliance. And then of course need to double check. Also remember, if you make any changes in here, you cannot save it for later. You will have to process the order. So do all your work ahead of time at the season and the clubs and underneath the person's profile. All that will flow through here. The only thing that you should have to change in here on charge day is possibly monies. If somebody got a bigger discount, or they just happen to be calling you right as you're doing their order, then you could just add some other items and knock it out right there. But for the most part, add everything to the season, then add it to their profile, and then that way when you open the batch again, it automatically brings all that in for you. So the 21 CS, we can't put it in. This is what we're looking for to make sure that we don't see is the red errors. So we need to check on going to products, and we're going to do the 21 cab. We're going to go to manage SKUs, edit. Look at that, I don't have any inventory. And specifically, I'm going to need inventory where the system is going to be pulling from. So if you have inventory in other pools, but not the ones you're using for the club processing, it's going to be giving you that error. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And then we're going to go back in here. That was the wrong one. And there we go. And now the red is gone. So that's how we get rid of that one. Ideally, though, if you've taken any of the courses before, or ideally the way that you would fix the inventory is you would actually do a transfer. So you would find the particular product, you would go in and you would transfer the inventory from fulfillment or warehouse or whatever it is, and then bring it into the tasting room or whatever pool needs to have it, and then also do transfer. Make sure you put in the notes. That's very important as well. And that way you keep a nice and clean track of your inventory and how things are moving. And then there's going to here, we take a look in here, and this right here, this is a no-no. If you have display on web and you have club inserts or newsletters, anything non-wine, this should not be showing up while you have display on web checked, because chances are you're going to be putting a default in here because you want this to go into the club and make sure that they get that. Well, if that's the case, then what we're going to see is when we go back here, I'll log out here, and then we're going to log in. We come up to here, hello Jane, and we go to club list. I have an insert, I have a newsletter, I have all these wines. So 12 bottles minimum, 14 bottles selected. The system does not know that these are not bottles of wine. It doesn't know they're non-wine. So I could get away with none of those and I still meet my minimum. I could get away with 4 of these and none of those. Still at my 12 bottle. My point being is that these will add to this total. And so your estimated goes down. So take a look at that. But go to 0. If these aren't in there, then they can't choose them. And that was about $100 odd difference with those inserts in there, that it was less. So your average ticket price would go down, your average club run price would go down by 100. Multiply that by all your club members, and you get an idea of how significant that can be. All right, so very important that when you are putting the clubs together, that these are not added until display on web is unchecked, so that they can no longer see the choices and they can no longer add that to the order or be able to get away with fewer bottles. Right? Okay, so those are some of the main issues that you're going to find. So make sure you check each of those steps. Start from the beginning, check your seasons, check your SKUs, check your inventory, check your compliance. Go through each step of the way, double check that everything is set up properly, step by step, and you're going to find that you're going to have nice, easy, smooth, stress-free club processes. Hope that helps.